Everyone remembers the moment they fell in love with Dumbo. On March 29th, a Disney legend returns for a whole new generation.
Sure, Dumbo. Sure.
Dumbo, rated PG, March 29th.
Well, good to see you. Good to be seen, everybody. We are back. I know it's been a while since I have graced your data streams. You know, life has been lifing and all that type stuff, but we are back. This is I guess you want to call this season 3, I guess. You know what? Let's call it season 3. It's my show. I can do what I want. My first guest of season 3, this young man, because you know we're men of a certain age, but we still young. I don't care what y'all say.
I agree.
That's right. So this young man, it's interesting how you talk to people and you have these like little bits in the timeline of life that we barely missed each other. I say that because, you know, not only does he do voiceover, but he at one point was an established and pretty well-known radio DJ.
I don't know about all that.
In particular, in a city that I once planted my flag in, Jacksonville, Florida. Like, we were right there. I didn't even know each. But you know what? We'll get into that. Mark Fisher, welcome to the show, sir.
Well, hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be seen. And it's a pleasure to be a part of season 3, episode 1.
That's right. I like how
Now,
you think.
fun
Yes.
fact. Today, and I don't know when this is going to air, but today is the actual anniversary of me stepping foot into my first radio gig in
Wow.
Jacksonville, Florida.
Stop.
WAPE, the Big Ape.
The big. This is
Yeah.
why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure when this is going to air, but I will timestamp it. It is August 22nd in the year of our Lord Anno Domini 20 and 25. So
Yes, back in the 1900s.
right. That's another story.
Scary.
It's when the
Scary, ain't
kids,
it?
when
Yeah.
the young people go, yeah, back in the 1900s, and you think about it, you're like, wait, I was
Yeah.
born in the 1900s, but
Yeah.
y'all think in 1901.
Yeah.
No, our numbers have some 6s and 7s and 8s in
A
there.
little bit.
Little bit.
I do talk with my kids often, and you know, I tell them about payphones, minutes, paying for minutes at night,
Woo-wee!
free nights and weekends.
Hey, looking at the clock like, you know what?
Yeah.
Don't press that last button until 6:59. Yeah, what's happening?
Boom. Boom. I
And
had stuff I
then
had to tell you all week, but I have to wait until free nights and weekends.
I'll tell you on Friday.
Yeah. Yes. So, but glad to be here, man, and congratulations on a season 3. It's a milestone.
You know what? It is. You know, I wish I could have kicked out more episodes for season 2, but you know, like I said, life was lifing, and I'm actually going to do a separate episode about that, which actually may air before this one. So my producer Maria, she'll make it work.
Hey,
But
man, it's not how you start; it's how you finish.
that is correct.
In track and field, we call it running through the line.
I was going to get to that. You know, not only is this young man, you know, been gracing the airwaves for years, you were a bit of an athlete.
I was a great athlete.
Oh, talk
I
your
was the
talk, sir.
I was the best athlete that never played on teams.
Uh-oh. Are you one
Man,
of those guys like, man, before my knee, I could have beat
man,
Jordan.
absolutely. Congress Drive's finest on
Uh-oh.
the north side of Jacksonville, Florida. No, I
Okay.
was that guy who was very athletic. I loved all sports. Was the slowest ever. There was a running joke that if somebody was chasing me, we were just gonna stop and fight. Let's just save us both the 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 trouble.
Now look,
But
you can outrun me, but I got these hands, so
man, my hands weren't even anyway. I digress. I didn't get anyway. Yeah. So I
okay.
yeah, I was very athletic as a kid. I just didn't have the belief. I could beat all of the athletes that were on the team. I just never did it.
Mm,
Even even now at the mature age that I am,
that's right.
I was just told by my doctor, my orthopedic surgeon last year, you don't play basketball anymore.
Oh, damn.
You ride bikes, you swim, anything that's not on your knees, that's what you do.
Wow.
And I told him, no, no, but yeah. So it's yeah, I'm very I'm still athletic. I love bowling. I love golf.
Wear and tear is real, y'all. It's real.
Man, 3 knee scopes.
Really?
Anytime you go to the doctor and he walks in and says, "We know what this is."
Yeah, and they take that breath.
I can get you in on Friday, you know.
Yeah.
So that's where we were.
Well, I look at it like this. Your uh unrealized potential, we'll call it that. It's been passed down through the genes.
It
Having
has.
having two athletes that bear your name in your DNA.
Oh man, it's interesting. It keeps me busy. I call myself the facilitator of their dreams
But
because I'm the guy that drives you to practice. I'm the guy that stays at practice, and then I became the guy with, "Hey coach, I'm not coach. Hey coach, hey coach, you got a stopwatch?" So now my vehicle is filled with hurdles, stopwatches, meter wheels.
spikes. Yeah.
Look, yeah, luckily my daughter is a thrower, so she doesn't have spikes. But
Oh, that's good.
yeah, so the last two of my five children are really, really athletic, and they did track and field and football, and my daughter's in band and basketball and flag football, and
Oh, good grief.
it's a lot.
How do you
It's a
breathe?
lot. I don't. I don't. Thankful that I have the job that I have, so that I never miss games and I'm always there, and they always know that Dad's here. So
Well, let's get into that
it's pretty
that
cool.
job that has afforded you such liberties. Um, so you grew up in Jacksonville.
Born and raised north side of Jacksonville, Florida, Jean Ribault Senior High School. I'm sorry, Jean Ribault. But I said Ribault.
Because
Just
that's
as
how they
90% of the population said it, but he was French. So
he was.
yes.
That's cool. Having lived there 20 years of my life, I just find it crazy. Now, how long have you been in Texas?
Over 20 years, maybe
See?
23 now.
So
Yeah.
we like
Yeah.
barely missed each other. Um, was I know that Jacksonville over the 20 plus years has
Mhm.
changed a lot. Um, for you getting into radio, let's wind the clock back a bit. Um, before you again grace the airwaves with
Mhm.
your skills and talent, um, were you into separate from sports? Were you in the theater? Were you into the arts, music? Like what's the evolution going from, okay, so yeah, that athlete thing ain't gonna work. I gotta do something else. Like, how did you get introduced into radio. I know a lot of people, especially my radio folks that I talk to, the one thing that tends to pop up a lot is internship. Um, some
Hmm.
actually went to school for it, but the majority of them, yeah, I was an intern, or I got on the radio at 14, helping the PD do this, do that. Like, what's your origin story? Like, how did we get there?
The year was 1900. No, no, literally 1986. My first job at Kentucky Fried Chicken, now known as KFC,
Mm-hmm.
I was a cook.
In the
I
brand
never
new
got a
studio.
chance to go and take orders or go through the drive-thru and take orders. But on some days when I felt frisky, I'd sneak in the drive-thru and take orders.
Got you.
And it would be, "Welcome to Kentucky Fried Chicken. How can I take your order?" And there was one particular day that I remember hearing someone say, "Man, that dude need to be on the radio." I let it go over my head. Fast forward, I graduated high school in 87. It is now 88, and I did not do college, but there was no way. I was a huge fan of Donnie Simpson.
Oh yeah.
Donnie Simpson was the host of a music video show called Video Soul on BET.
Detroit's own.
Detroit's
Donnie
own
Simpson.
Donnie Simpson, an icon without
Radio
question.
Radio Hall of Famer a couple of years ago.
And there was no way that you couldn't tell me that I wasn't the next Donnie Simpson.
All right now.
Hey, I'm Donnie Simpson, and welcome to Video Soul
Oh, I think every
with a
person,
hairbrush.
every dude I know, well, who was kind of into voices and things like that and
Yeah,
radio announcers,
yeah,
everyone had their Donnie Simpson
yes,
impression because he had this. Hi, I'm Donnie Simpson, and welcome to the episode of Video Soul. I'm like, why does he say
yes,
it so smooth, especially
because
on
he's so smooth.
you know,
Dr. Green Eyes. Uh,
the Green Eye
so
Bandit? Yep.
back when I realized that I wasn't going to be the replacing member for Bobby Brown in New Edition,
Okay.
I I transitioned into, okay, I was going to try the military. That didn't work. So now I'm lying
Mhm.
in my bed. This is 1988. And I'm like, okay, you got to do something. I remember back in 1986, that dude needed to be on the radio. I loved the radio. I loved that. I would be the guy recording songs from the radio.
Mhm.
And it didn't matter what genre. It could be James Brown, it could be the Jacksons, it could be Def Leppard, it could be Van Halen. I just loved music. So,
Right.
but I knew that I wanted to be Donnie Simpson. And I also knew that Donnie Simpson also had a radio show.
Yep.
So because I knew that he had a radio show, I said, okay, I'm going to follow that path. There
Mhm.
was a local college in Jacksonville, Jones College.
Jones College. I knew you were going there.
So I
Right at
called
the
my
bridge.
dad in the room and said, "Dad, I know what I'm going to do." He said, "I'm glad." I said, "I am going to take classes and get into radio." He says, "You better not mess up. If I give you this money, don't mess up." Okay. My
Well,
brother
okay.
went to that school. My sister went to that school.
Really? Okay.
So here I am bringing up the rear. Um, I got into the I got into the courses. I started taking the classes. Halfway through, a good friend of mine who was actually working at WAPE as the morning show producer,
Mm,
he finally moved up, got his own gig
okay.
overnights.
Oh,
They needed someone to replace him. I meet him in the mall on a Thursday. He says, "Hey man, what are you doing on Monday?" I said, "Nothing." "Want a job?" "Sure." "Show up Monday morning, 5 o'clock." Okay. I showed up Monday morning, 5 o'clock. First thing I did was make coffee for the morning guy, Hoyle Dempsey. Hoyle Dempsey was the protege of Greaseman.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So that's where I got my chops. That was 1988, August 22nd.
Wow. Yeah, I remember.
And here I am today.
Look at you now. That's crazy. I remember I first got to Jacksonville in the aughts, 2001 to be exact. And I think by that time Grease Man had been off, but then they brought him back
Mhm.
for a stint because I had no idea who this dude was. I'm like, people like, yeah, Grease is coming back. I'm like, well, I have no hair, so Grease does nothing for me. It's like, no, the Grease Man. I'm like, I got a mechanic. Like, what are y'all talking about? And then
Iconic figure.
yeah, I listened to a couple of his broadcasts. I was like, oh, so this guy is kind of like the Howard Stern of the South, pretty much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We would record his shows. My older brother, who, by the way, if anyone I thought would have gone into this field, it would have been him. It
Hmm.
just so happened that it was me.
Well,
He was the one that I thought that would do this. So
well,
yeah, I know.
it's funny how that works. You know, you have a sibling that you feel is great or could be great at something else, and then you get it. You're
Yeah.
like, well,
Yeah.
like, why are you not doing this? Hmm.
Yeah. So
I think
I will mention though that I did not finish school,
I was going to ask you that
um,
because
because
you had already got the job. Yeah.
halfway through, I got a job at the number one station in the market.
So my
And
question to you is, what did Dad say?
you know what? He didn't. He just gave me a look. And it was a and it's I know, well, I'm a father of five. So I've had several looks.
Looks, bless your heart.
And it was a look of not disappointment, but okay, well, this is the road you're on now. Now
Oh,
for
okay.
real, you better not
Hmm.
mess up
Gotcha.
because you didn't waste my money because you actually landed
You got the gig.
in a great spot.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't mess that up. And this and for that being the number one station in the market, it was a CHR station, Contemporary Hit Radio.
right.
I mean, Def Leppard. The first song that I heard was Kokomo by the Beach Boys.
By the Beach Boys.
Do you know what it's
Mhm.
like to have 3,000 13-year-old girls calling and requesting the song, but they don't say, "Can you play Kokomo?" They
They
say,
say Bermuda, Bahama.
Can you play Aruba, Jamaica?" And then wait, can you play it next? Can you play it? I got to go to school. My dad's getting in the car. When can you play it? You haven't played it yet. Next call. My dad says if you don't play it, he's coming up to here.
What? So I find it interesting for a song that popular that you would think it would be for people who've actually been to Bermuda, Bahama, Jamaica, grown folks who like to travel and drink. Why are teenagers or why were teenagers attached to that song?
I have no idea. And it pains me to think about it now. So let's move on.
Okay.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
We're gonna just move right on past that. Um, one thing I found interesting, um, and you'll understand this, you know, 1980s, 90s Jacksonville was still in some places segregated. How was that, or was there an effect on you thinking, okay, here I am going to school for radio, want to be a jock, and you're probably thinking, I'll get on some R&B, some soul station, but no, you get into classic rock, and it's like, y'all sure y'all want the brother to come do this? Like, how did that
You know,
affect you?
it 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 really didn't. It was weird in a way because technically I was the only black person in the building. But I made it work. It was fun.
Mhm.
I learned all the things that I thought I was supposed to learn in broadcasting school because by the time I finished broadcast, well, by the time I got that gig and was exposed to the actual thing, it was like, well, they didn't talk about this at Jones College. What am I doing? So I get there and I liked the music anyway.
Mhm.
I loved, a lot. Don't don't fear the Reaper, Aerosmith, all of this stuff I had already know. My favorite group, I used to call the radio station 2 years prior to working there to hear Van Halen's "Why Can't This Be Love."
So I'm gonna you and I came up in the
Yeah,
MTV era.
I was the air drummer for Phil Collins. That's me. That was me.
Before
Yeah,
Video Soul, there was MTV,
yeah.
and it. I think for me, MTV exposed to this little brown boy's eyes because you had Sugar Hill Gang, you had Cool in the Gang, you had the music that we grew up on, cookout music. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
SOS
now,
band.
right, and now you're hearing Panama, Hot for Teacher,
Hmm.
Scritti Politti, which I just thought the name was cool. And I'm like, because, and just to show you how diverse cultures are, and when you're able to bring them together, it makes for good soup. I'm listening to uh Devo, and I'm like, this is a cool
Mm.
little beat. Dun, 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 dun,
Drag
dun.
that whip.
And then I see the video, I'm like, oh, these boys
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
But at the same time, thinking if I had friends like that, that's what we probably would do. Just some
Brother.
crazy shit. And like, hey, maybe not crack a whip, because I mean, you don't really want to say whips to black people. But I mean, other than just the fun, I mean, come on, bro. But the fun, yeah. Hey, I did that on the podcast last week. Had to sip. Matter of fact, I'm gonna sip with you. Just
Thank you. Throat coat. Thanks, Donovan Cornetz.
hey now, it's my dude. But you I think for me,
Hmm.
black music was so it was so us.
Hmm.
You felt proud. He was like, this dude can dance and sing, she can dance and sing. But then for that small collective of black folk who were considered the geek or the nerd before it was cool, by the way, when you started to hear these other groups, there was a whole different identity. Like, while I'm down for my culture and my people, I kind of like these white dudes with these crazy videos and the music.
Man.
Like, I don't know why I'm attracted to it, but then it hit because they're not the norm. And as a black kid growing up, I definitely was not the norm. So that was my relation, that was my
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
So I got it immediately. I would be in my room listening to stuff, and you know, my mom wouldn't say anything, but I'm sure she was like, what is he listening to? Or when MTV came on, I remember they used to have this thing called the sneak preview video.
Hmm.
And that was like, before this video airs anywhere else, you'll get to see it. And what blew my mind was Aerosmith and Run DMC. I'm like, it's happening.
Absolutely.
Two things I love, rock music and hip hop. It's happening now. You
I'm
got,
gonna I'm gonna date myself.
come on with it.
Who put my chocolate in the peanut butter? Who put your peanut butter in my chocolate? Okay, carry on.
Reese's peanut butter
Thank you.
cups.
Thank you.
Oh, I am a vat of useless information.
It's
You know,
it's quite it's quite all right.
I
But
am.
yeah, I mean that was a great time for me because I was learning, and I was
Mhm.
learning from at that time I really thought it was the best. It was a different level.
Yeah.
It was a different level, and things were done differently.
Mhm.
At the radio station that I worked, instead of having a vehicle, they had four.
Wow.
They had, you show up for a live broadcast, you just showed up. Whereas my counterparts on the other side, you got to gas up the van, you you've got to set up, you've got to host the remote, then you have to break the stuff down. So that
Wow.
was it.
Yeah, I get it.
so so I learned what most people thought that radio was supposed to look like.
Mhm.
I was experiencing that.
And I
And
think
then
that's
I would get across and I would talk to my co-partners and my friends,
mhm.
and you buddy up with them, and they'd invite you to the studio because you all worked overnights.
Yeah,
So on the night that you didn't work, you can come up to their studio, and I'm looking around, I'm like, this looks like the
chaos.
college station that I worked that I was. What is this? So I learned both sides. I learned how to work within the system.
Yeah,
I was actually working there like 3 weeks because I thought it was an internship.
right.
So I'm just walking down the halls, and the GM walks up to me and says, "Are we supposed to be paying you?" I was like, "I don't know." I was just happy to be there because
Yeah,
it was working at the place that I listened to the songs on the radio.
your environment
And
where you
and and I'm looking at the person
yeah.
who would answer the phone, and I'm like, wow, that's you. And then it became me. And I realized, wow, it ain't so bad after all.
And I've heard from not only just radio people,
Mm,
but people in music production, and they say one of the best things that ever happened to them was quitting school, because in school it's everything is layered and structured, but there is nothing like when you're in the environment and you're
It,
thinking, well, in
it,
school we were told this. Yeah, that's what they tell you in school, but look, this would
it
really
was a
happen.
different world.
Yeah.
It was a completely different world, and I had to learn quickly. And I went through several different names. I was Mark Starr. I was Mark Murphy.
Don't
Uh,
go where I think you're going, because I want to ask you. You know where I'm going, so hold
I'll wait.
on.
I'll wait until you ask me.
Okay,
Hmm.
so we're gonna speed up a bit. So we leave Jones. We're interning, but not interning, and you're starting to establish yourself at the station. So what I was going to ask, and you kind of stole my thunder a bit, because I remember talking to Dave Fenoy about this, um, radio names,
Mm,
and he was Billy David Ocean for the radio station that he was on, and then he had to change that because then when Billy Ocean came out, it was like
right,
people kept calling the station thinking it's him. He's like, no, that's not
right.
me.
I want
So
to be
how
your lover.
right?
Sorry.
So how do you guys, or you in particular,
Mm.
um, how do you, like, are you sitting there going, okay, what do I want to call myself? I guess it's a two-part question. Are you prompted or nudged to not use your real name? Um, and then if you're not going to go by your real name, talk about the creativity, the evolution of names until you got to the particular name that I know you as,
Yeah.
Mark the Shark.
So in college, I was a huge Prince fan. Prince he would have several different aliases, Jamie Starr, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to be Mark Starr with two R's. That didn't work out. So I said, okay, I'll be Mark Murphy. Once I got to the actual radio station, I was just Mark. Because I wasn't on the air, I had a morning show producer role slash answer the phone for the morning guy.
Yeah.
Answer the phones, make them coffee. I was a PA. So, but I was also very shy, very quiet, super mild mannered. And there was this cartoon called Jabberjaws,
The shark.
the shark. I would just appear, and I would often scare people that I would walk up behind.
Oh,
Now,
that could
you asked for
that
it,
could
man.
go so many different
So
because
so I didn't make a lot of noise in rooms.
yeah.
I fit in.
Hmm.
And as I was getting there and getting my bearings, I was still quiet, but we all know that in radio, it's very extroverted and people have huge personalities.
Right.
I didn't, but I wanted to be in the conversation. So I would just kind of just appear
Hmm.
and I would always scare everybody. So the morning guy, Hoyle Dempsey, one morning he just said, Mark the Shark, and it never left.
So you were
And
given the name.
and it was born.
So the reason I'm laughing
So I know.
internally.
I'm almost offended, but that's
No, 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 no. So
no. Go ahead.
I'm laughing internally because you were the only person of color at the station.
Yes,
So it wasn't hard for you to stand out. And I'm just thinking to myself, why these white people keep jumping when he come in the room? Like, did they forget you worked there?
and at the time I'm like 6'2", uh, but but I was quiet and I just never I didn't talk, and it was the morning sidekick Marge Fizzy that pulled me aside and said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but if you're in this business, you got to say something, or else you're not gonna make it."
Right. You go from being on the thing at KFC, may I take your order, where people are saying you should be on the radio. Then you get a chance to be on the radio and you don't say nothing.
As belief, man. But I wasn't on the radio. It was just the answer the phone.
Yeah.
So I would Power 95. What do you want to hear? All right, we'll try and get it on for you. Thank you. And that cycle for 4 hours. Hoyle, line two. It's a good one. And that was what I did. So it didn't require me to do it.
Mhm.
But she said, if this is something that you want to do, then you've got to change. If you
So
don't
how did you?
change, you know what? I just started talking. I just started talking a lot. I started talking a lot. I started interjecting, and just saying, um, either do it or get off, do it or get out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the fight or flight thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it served me well.
Yeah. Because I would think, and like you said, radio. That's why they used to call them radio personalities because you actually had to have one to be on the
It
radio.
was it was a little different.
Nowadays, plus with on terrestrial radio, some of these guys are all just. It's almost like listening to a podcast, but it's radio because whatever happened to the DJ saying, "Hey, the next song is going to be this, the next song is going to be this." Now you have like these 10-minute segments where they're just having conversation. I'm like, can I listen to a song?
A song. What's that? But then again, but if you think about it, think about the transition of when there used to be music videos where they actually played videos, and now then it became something completely different. But
Yeah,
that's the nature of the beast. And
yeah, that's ever changing media is. unless you have Vivo. Vivo, I will say, still has music videos.
Mm,
Um, a lot of them are acts I have never heard of, but I think that's also a good thing because it shows that there is music still being made out here. Um, and it actually has introduced me to a couple of artists. I'm like, huh, okay, I'm gonna write you down.
yeah.
Um, and then there's some was I got them shoes. I'm like, what did he say?
But you got to think about it again. When Run DMC came out, our parents were like, "What is this foolishness that you're
Yeah,
listening to?"
but at least with Run DMC, you could listen to them and you may not understand the syntax of the verse, but you knew what each word was, you know.
That's just generation though. You
Yeah,
know, it
because
was different when we were kids to our parents. Now that we are parents, it's a different thing because one, they multitask much better than I ever did.
yeah,
And it's an insta generation. We want everything right now.
yep.
And when I explain to them about CDs and cassettes, they're
Ah,
like, "So you mean y'all have to wait for a song to be?"
yeah, and there were
So
commercials and advertisements and
it's yeah. So for the longest time, my kids didn't know what I did, especially once I transitioned out of radio and began voiceover because I was always here.
mhm.
But for the longest, I had to stop my son from saying, "Yeah, my mom, works at a hospital. My dad doesn't work." Hey, dude. Hey, man. Look around.
You think I just dreamed this up? I just snapped a
Right.
finger?
I just yeah, well, but you just go in the studio and you just like read these papers. Yeah, say thanks, Dad, for the mortgage
Right?
being.
Yeah.
Um, where do you think you got these school clothes from?
You know
But
that
yeah,
Xbox you're playing? Reading these here
yeah,
papers got that for you, son.
yeah. So, but that's always been funny. Just this morning, as a matter of fact, my son he's 20 now, and he was going to his doctor's appointment, and the receptionist was playing a radio station that I happened to be the signature voice for.
Ha.
And it kind of dawned on him. It hit him by surprise. So he goes, "Hey, that's Dad." And the receptionist is like, "What? No, this is KTSU. I know my dad's on that station. I was in the studio when he read that." And so that began a entire conversation. And it was like he said, I really, for the longest time, didn't really understand what you did because I never heard it.
Mhm.
So it was great to hear the finished product. And it's like, yeah, you're welcome.
And but you know what though? I think in that moment he got it. And now that he
Yeah.
got it, now that he has it, is like my dad's pretty cool. You I have heard my daughter, especially when she's 26 now and dating and you know, she's a gamer and she's talking to guys, whatever, and she'll and not as a humble brag, but just kind of, oh, matter of fact, yeah. So my dad, he was in Madden. It's like, yeah, sure, your dad was, and and then to be there to back her up, and she'll like, yeah, just listen. Next time you're playing on the intro, the guy who's
Mhm.
saying, the Giants versus the Jets next to him, and they're like, that's your dad. She's like, yeah. So it's I I'm happy for her because there's a cool factor, but then I'm like, yeah, that was me. So I get that. Um,
Kudos to you too, by the way. My daughter, who is an avid wrestling fan.
you told me that she loves.
Yeah, she is. She is a tomboy to heart. She is an athlete. She loves everything that her brother loves,
Mm.
and she's a huge wrestling fan. So when she heard the promos, I explained to her, that's my friend. Oh. And then she hit me with the gut punch. Why don't you do that?
Out of the mouth of babes.
Out of the mouth of babe. She's 15. She's not a babe anymore. But I said, hey, he does what he does. I do what I do.
Yeah.
Not to say that I wouldn't love it. but,
Well, that
but,
brings
but
us to our next transition.
yeah.
And thank you for watching, young lady. I appreciate it. Tuesdays at 8/7 on the CW. It's NXT. But so as most of my radio folks do, they get introduced to a little career called voiceover.
Mm.
How were you exposed to it? Um, and how long did it take for you to make the transition, or was it something to where someone said, "Hey, you ever thought about doing voiceover? I mean, you're great on the radio, but there's another level that you can, get to." How were you introduced to it?
The year was 1997. By now, I have moved 2 states over. Well, I've moved for the third time. First time I moved to Augusta, Georgia. Stayed there for a year and a half. Second time I moved to Alabama. And Mitch Faulkner
Ah, rest in
was the
peace.
the
Yeah,
signature voice of our radio station.
yeah, he was the goat.
He was unequivocally the GOAT. But I would listen to his stuff, and I was dating a young lady at the time who happened to be in the business, and she looked over at me and said, you could do that. Again, one of those, it flies over my head, and I just let
Hmm.
it go. Probably 3 years later, now I've moved to Houston, and I'm the production director. I've always kind of been a production director of sorts, production director slash on the air at some capacity.
Yeah,
I loved creating, loved producing commercials, promos. So I was already pretty decent at doing that.
yeah.
I get a call from this local church who wants to do something different. They had church announcements, but instead of having the first lady or whomever come and stand in front of the congregation, they said, I want a series of commercials, a series of like little promos or announcements for whatever we're doing the next week or the next month.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and that was actually my first client in 2004.
Wow.
That was my first paying voiceover client. Uh, and I still do that a lot for a lot of different churches around the country today. For a while, that was my bread and butter before radio imaging.
Yeah.
It was a different lane. Um, it was fairly simple, and I enjoyed creating, and I could do it at any time, and it didn't hinder my on-air work.
Right.
So I began building a clientele throughout the years. In around 2008, I got the bug because now 2007 had come. I got my first radio imaging client,
Ah, yeah.
and now I got the bug, and I'm listening to all of these guys, the Dr. Dave Fergusons and the Pat Garretts and all of these guys, and Mitch Faulkner had kind of passed the torch a little bit to some of these other guys.
Hmm.
Rick Party hadn't really started yet. He had just kind of got the inkling to do so, but as Rick being Rick, he's a master at whatever he does. And he
Yeah.
started building momentum very fast.
Yeah.
But now 2008 is here, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with radio. I had built up enough clients, so I was ready to walk away.
Mhm.
And I know that, and I know my wife will say different, but I know that we talked about it. So 2008, I'm driving in to turn in my resignation,
Mm.
and I get a phone call literally 2 miles from the job. Hey, babe, did we really talk about this? Do 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 do. Long story short, I gave myself a year. I said, okay, by this time next year, I'm going to go ahead and took my wife on a trip, went to Vegas.
Hey now.
Hey now,
Oh,
uh, had some incredible martinis and stuff. And then I really, really had to, and she can verify, we had the conversation. I said, babe, when I get back, it's done. So I planned my work, I worked my plan, I gave myself a year. I got back in November 2nd, 2009. I turned in my resignation, didn't look back. I still think to this day, I'm probably one of the very few that have had a 21-year career in radio and have not been fired.
wow.
It's always been, hey, I know a guy. You looking to go somewhere else? Yeah, I'll go. Hey, Mark, such and such is starting a new station. You interested? Yeah. Hey, Mark, want to come to Houston? Sure.
Go
And
where you want it.
that was an interesting story, by the way. The story from Mobile to Houston. I was looking to go to a major market. I'd
Mhm.
never worked in a major market before. I felt I was ready. I knew that I could do it. Summer of 2001, went to Los Angeles, had a blast for the weekend. Came back from Los Angeles, told my girlfriend, now wife, babe, if this doesn't work out, if nothing pans out for me by the end of the year, we're moving to Los Angeles. I'm
Oh.
good enough. I can get a part-time gig. I'll work my way up.
Mhm.
That was that was the false ego that I had. Sure you will. So nothing happened. By December 17th, I get a call. Houston's calling. I
Oh boy.
accept on December 19th. January 13th, I arrive in Houston, 2002. The rest is history.
And planted your flag.
I
Um,
did.
talk about um, and you know, since you brought up Rick, um, and he talks about this too. You know, going to this market, moving to that market. And I guess the question I didn't ask him that I'm going to ask you now:
Mm,
when you're doing that, it's one thing when you're a single guy and they say, "Hey, you want to move here to such and such? We got a gig." Yeah. Hey, you want to move here? But now that there's a family involved,
yeah.
how much goes into that? Where you're saying, "Okay, hey kids, we're gonna move to so and so, yay!" And then, "Hey, daddy got a new job, and now we're moving to so and so." And it might still be yay, but eventually the yay is gonna be like, "Are we moving again?" Like, how do you set them up in the family and say, "Hey, I gotta go where I want to go, where the money is."
Well,
Um,
uh, a lot of factors go into that. Yes, I'm a husband, father of five, but divorces. I was in radio. Things happen.
Yeah.
So a lot of that I didn't really have to worry about. My two older children lived with their mom in Jacksonville.
Okay.
So at the time, then my third son was born. He was living with me, and it's kind of one of those things where it's a better situation.
Yeah.
So and the first time I moved, my older two children were small. As a matter of fact, there was only one, and he was a year and a half.
Oh
So
yeah.
so you go. So the moves that I made when I made them, the kids were always really, really young.
Yeah.
Um, by the time my two younger children were born here, so I didn't have to worry about a lot of that. I just had supportive, uh, significant others around me who believed in what I believed in,
Yeah.
and were willing to do what they do to help fulfill my dream and help facilitate whatever I wanted to do. So it's not like that a lot. And luckily I haven't had to move a lot. I've Out of 38 years, it's been four cities.
Oh, okay.
So
That's not
I
too.
was, I didn't get fired. And I can't say that for a lot of people. A lot of people have moved 20 times. Some people have had five gigs in 4 years, or four gigs in 5 years. And so I was fortunate enough to always have a part of the gig where they needed me. So being production director, guess what? You got to make the commercials. Commercials is where they make money.
Right.
So I've been through transitions where they blow out the entire staff, but they keep me because
Wow.
they still gotta make commercials. I'm the guy to do it. So that's what happened with the last station.
So, what do you feel? And this is for both careers,
Mhm.
um, and primarily for you, but in general, what do you think makes a good jock, and what do you think makes a good voice actor? And are there elements from radio that you were able to take and apply to what you're doing now in voiceover? I know that with imaging, you were kind of already doing that anyway because as a
Mhm.
PD, especially in your role, you were already cutting stuff anyway. And I know I've talked to a lot of folk in radio that they wore many hats. They was the PD, they were doing the ads,
Right.
not only
Right.
writing the ads, now you're voicing the ads, but then to go a step further, now you're the brand voice of the station. Like talk about how you're taking elements from all that and putting it in the pot that's helping or has helped your current voiceover career.
I think all of that ties into being a good communicator, being a good interpreter, learning how to move yourself out of the way.
Hmm.
So in radio, there was a lot of projection, even though you still wanted to make them seem like you were talking directly to them. It was still a lot of projection. You're still talking like this, and you guys make sure you're at the spot. 10 o'clock, be there. Meet me there. Don't beat me there. Beat me there. Don't meet me there.
Yeah.
All of that. But once you get into radio, I mean, once you get into voiceover,
Yeah.
it was a lot more subtleness. It was a lot more just explain what this is. In the words of my friend Nancy, your friend Nancy, tell it to me, don't sell it to me.
There you go.
you know? So I just took a lot of that, and I mixed it all together, and I just interpret what this copy says.
Hmm.
And that seems to work for me. I've learned to just be myself. There was a time when you're first starting, you want to be like Pat Garrett, you want to be like Rick Party, you want to be like Dr. Dave, you want to, do their same exact cadences. And I found my own voice, which is a mixture of all of them. I can be the hip hop cool guy. I can be the super powerful Dave Fox slash Pat Garrett
Oh yeah.
slash, I can do all of that. And luckily, my chops in CHR radio has kind of afforded me that opportunity to tap into that sometimes. And I can do some of that copy. So
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Um, I'll save this to the very end because I've held you hostage long enough. But um, going back to what you said, taking elements from this personality, that personality. I remember someone asking me, and maybe not even asking me, but they
mm,
mentioned that, hey, you can be the next, fill in the blank great voice actor of yesteryear. And I said, well, that's cool, but I'm working on being the first and only Tre Mosley. I don't want to be the next this person or the next this person. Two reasons. One, if you market yourself as, I'm the next Don LaFontaine, you are putting yourself under the tiniest of microscopes in
absolutely.
everything you do because now you put it out there that this is who you're going to. It reminds me of Harold Miner,
Mm,
Baby Jordan. And this dude has so much expectation from other people because he had the ball head, he favored Mike, would dunk on anybody. And I was so
yeah.
happy as a Miami
Yeah.
Heat fan when we got him. I'm like, we got Baby Jordan. Brother averaged 10 points a game,
Yep.
left the Heat, went to Cleveland, and we don't know where he is now. So I didn't want lofty expectations to be put on me because if I faltered or if I didn't meet their expectations, now they're like, but I thought you said you were gonna be next. No, I'm working on being the first me.
Yeah.
And that's worked
Yeah.
out pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. And you don't
Um,
have to say in a world.
I actually gotta say it once.
Good for
It
you.
was it wasn't for a trailer though. It was some corporate thing and they wanted something trailer-esque. And it was like,
Yeah.
hey, could you do the inner world thing?
Yeah.
Like for real?
And that's amazing that he just kind of coined that phrase. He is synonymous with that phrase.
Yeah, him
God
and
rest his soul.
him and a guy named Hal Douglas, rest both their souls.
Ah, yeah.
Hal Hal Douglas used to it always sounded like he just had a cup of coffee and there was like he ate a bagel and a sesame seed got
Yeah.
stuck right here.
Yeah.
One man,
Yeah.
one girl. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
why do you sound that way?
Yeah.
On a moon, in a cloud. I'm like,
Mm,
but
And
it worked for him.
and while we're giving flowers to where flowers should go, I've got to say a huge thank you to Rodney Salisbury,
Oh yeah. My
the
first
money
view.
bank. You can bank on your voice. The first voiceover book that I bought, I still remember a lot of the passages, and
Mine is right over here. Along
and
with the tongue
and
twisters.
yes, and but that's one of the things that I love about the voiceover community. There are no real egos. And if you have a question, and it's been my experience, if I've had a question, I could call and I could ask, and advice was freely given.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of gatekeeping. Um, if you wanted to know, just ask.
Yeah.
And that's I love what I do, and I'm so grateful to be able to do it from home. Uh, I often say sometimes I'm so busy that I don't know what to do, and then there are sometimes I'm twiddling my thumbs like I ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful to my wife who keeps her feet solidly on the ground while I reach for the stars.
Yeah. I
Love
think
you, babe.
ah, That means she gonna watch this. That's why he put that out there. You know, she be like,
You
hey,
doggone right.
I did a podcast, baby. You should sit and watch towards the end. Oh, you said that for me.
Hey,
That's right.
Vanessa
Um,
Williams had a song called "Save the Best for Last." It was a hit.
see, that's how you know he's a radio guy because I've listened to radio over the years, and they always have this segue before the song. Tell you a story about Vanessa Williams, so and so and so and so and so, and and we're saving the best for last. Now, here's Vanessa Williams. See, I could do it too. Y'all give me a shot, man. Let me get on
You
the
don't want
radio.
you don't want it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it.
Okay,
You don't want to do it. It's a lot different.
I'll
It's
stick
a
to English.
lot, and kudos to those who do and make it work. You guys, are amazing at what you do. It just did what it was supposed to do for me, which was transition me into another field.
Yeah.
So, so grateful is the word.
So, Mr. Fisher,
Yes,
my
sir.
good friend the shark. I can only do this to you because I already know about it. Um,
Go ahead. I already know what you're about to guess. Go ahead.
you've given me some great stories about your days in radio.
Mm-hmm.
One in particular. Now, let me before I go there, let me
Mm-hmm.
ask
Go ahead.
you,
Yes,
are
sir.
you okay with telling this story? Because if not, we can just we can end it and I'll like
Brother,
you know,
we are here now. It's time to make the donuts. Go ahead.
so have you had any interesting radio stories you'd like to share about particular artists that you met or may have
So,
had crushes on or whatever? Just asking. Let me grab
so
my
yeah, go ahead. All right. So back in the 80s, of course I told you I was a huge Prince fan. Prince, from that Prince family came a lot of different acts. One of them was Vanity Six. Um, R.I.P.
Denise Matthews.
Denise
Yes.
Matthews. But I was a huge fan, friend, admirer of Vanity.
And who
This
wasn't?
was, but yeah, you're right. So she had just done Action Jackson.
Oh yeah.
I was still working overnights, and she actually came to Jacksonville for a club date. Everyone knew that I had this affinity for Vanity. You think they would let me off so that I could go to the club? And mind you, I'm 19, so I really can't get to the club. But it's probably why they didn't let me off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working and I'm getting updates via phone from my guys at the club. They're calling up. So at the radio station, you had a warm line and you had a hot line
Right.
along with the other phone lines. The warm line was for the on-air jocks and people who needed to get in contact with you who didn't want to call the or didn't have to call the request line. The
Mhm.
hotline was for the bosses. Warm line blowing up. Dude, she's doing Can You Kiss Me? Dude, she's doing Far Away Eyes.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, I'm like, thanks, but no thanks.
Did she do Pretty Miss?
She did.
Please continue.
Yeah. Anyway, the next day rolls around. Somehow, some way, I don't know what happened, but her transportation from the hotel to the airport failed. The program director, knowing that I had an affinity for Vanity, calls me at home, wakes me up from my nap. It's probably 5 o'clock now. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing. You need me to come work? Well, yes and no. How would you like to take Vanity to the airport?
Ping.
Her ride didn't go through. Absolutely. I ain't got no car. So I'm waiting for my father to come home, but I've already said yes. I think her flight is like at 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm waiting for my father to get off work. I meet him in the driveway. He can't get out the car fast enough. Dad, I gotta go. Dad, please let me in the car. I'll put gas in the car. I'll fill it up. I'll wash it. I gotta go right now. I'll explain later. Please let me go. I'm out. I've got to drive from my side of town, which is the north side,
Hmm.
to I think she was somewhere I it was on the other side of town. But Jacksonville being the largest flatland in the United States, if you got to drive, 30 minutes,
It's a
that's
long 30.
forever. 30 minutes in rush hour traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So I've called the hotel. She answers. I tell her, look for a burgundy Chevrolet Celebrity. I will be there. Like the Jackson 5. I get there in record time. She's in the lobby. My eyes I can't believe what I'm seeing because I'm
Frozen
about to have Vanity in my car.
in
But
your.
it's not just Vanity, it's Vanity and her manager. I can't put their stuff in the trunk because my dad's got like tools
Tools.
and
Hmm.
bowling ball bags and jacks and spare tires. And
A man's trunk.
so she has to sit in the back seat with 5 bags.
Mm-mm-mm.
Ask me, do I care?
Did you care,
No,
Mom? No.
no. But I got a schedule to keep because I've got to get her to the airport,
Mm-hmm.
which is on the other side
Others
of town. So coming from the north side
going
to
back to the north side.
the north side to the south side, back to the
Back.
north side
Yeah.
in rush hour traffic. I've got my hazards on. I'm doing 90. She's
Talk
in
about
the back
crazy.
seat laughing with her manager, and they're talking about the night before and all kinds of stuff. And I am but an Uber driver before Uber was invented. I
Beating your
pull up.
feet.
I'm like, if you pull me over, you're just going to have to understand who I have in the back seat.
Yeah.
So get out my way. I get to the airport, record time, get her stuff out. And she says, you've been such a gentleman. You want to walk me to the gate?
I mean,
So, and I got to preface this, it's not like, of course, today's airports. You had access, free reign. You could walk up to the gate.
yeah.
You really didn't have security. It was just, you just go and get in and you're good. We are walking hand in hand through the airport.
Talk your talk, sir.
I'm 19.
Yes, sir. Talk that talk now.
I get to the gate. She says, you've just been great. You were raised properly. I said, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. And is anything else I can do for you? She said, no, baby. And then she does this, and she does this, and she puts it right here.
Bang!
I died twice. I did. I did, man. I'm 19. This is Vanity.
No,
She's still she's still
I get
fine.
it.
She's still beautiful. She is just, yeah. And so I drove. I could have very well took some caution tape and and placed it where she sat in my dad's backseat of his 1988 Chevrolet Celebrity.
Come on now.
Um, After that, I'm sitting at home reminiscing about the day and the events that happened. I'm supposed to actually go on a date. I forgot all about the date until I get the phone call.
You still
Are
coming?
we gonna? Yes, yes. And I'm so nonchalantly laid back, and I literally go. I mean, yeah, I can still come if you still want to go. Doesn't matter to me
Wow.
because I had just kissed Vanity.
Yeah.
Not you, not you, not you, not you. Me.
Yeah. I
I ended up marrying that girl, by the way. The first date. I ended up
not
marrying
Vanity,
her.
the girl.
Yeah, yeah. Not Vanity. But that was my Vanity story. I'm so embarrassed.
It's a great story,
Now listening to it now at over 50. Yeah. That was my story. I lived through it.
You know, I've met celebrities in my day. And my stories aren't that they're nowhere near as entertaining as, and I've heard this story before, but it's just when you're a young man of a certain age, and if
Yeah.
you ever have an opportunity to meet or to be in proximity to someone that you just I understand. And there are going to be some gentlemen who are going to hear that story, and they may in the comments tell a story of their own.
Keep in mind, I had been in radio for all of a year.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
The only story that I have that will not even match that. I touched Tracy Spencer's hand.
Was it tender?
Ah,
Boom.
but it was though. She had performed in Miami, and it might have been the King Orange Jamboree Parade, which is our version of the New Year's Rockin' Eve thing. And I know she was there. And you know how they're singing, they're reaching out to people, hey, and singing. And I call it the superstar clasp, where they don't really grab your hand. It's like a soft little, but I got enough skin and I'm like, it happened with this hand. Let me regale you a story, Cancer. But that's it.
Probably meant nothing to her.
But
it was
at all.
everything to you.
She was just like, he's a fan. Hey, how are you? Thanks for coming out. Probably meant nothing. But to me, she could do no wrong. Tracy, you probably won't see this podcast.
She's out on tour now. She's still touring.
Oh, I follow her. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there are things that age well in this life. There's wine, art, music, and Tracy Spencer. We're going to end the show right there with the question that I always ask my guests before they leave, because I don't want to get myself in trouble with my wife. Moving on. So
too late.
Yeah, I know it's too late. Mark Fisher, aka the
Yes,
Shark.
sir.
When you're not on the imaging airwaves or voicing for brands and clients alike, how does Mark take time out for himself?
Lots of bowling. I started bowling at 5.
Oh, so you got it honest, because you said your dad had a bowling ball in his car. So
my dad started bowling, and we would go on family bowling nights.
Yeah.
I've come close to a 300, which is a perfect game,
Right.
3 times, missed by 1 pin or
Ah.
2 pins. And golf. Been playing golf since 1998. The score is still the same. But it's that it's 4 hours away from everything
Yeah.
and in a wonderful atmosphere. And it's you against that little ball. And one time you'll hit it just and it'll go just as you imagined it's supposed to go. And that's the hook. Because now you're trying to recreate that shot 18 more times for 18 more holes
Right.
or 17 more holes. So lots of golf, lots of bowling, and being the facilitator of my kids' dreams at track practice, volleyball, I'm sorry, basketball practice, band, flag football,
Wow.
and then the outdoor season. So it's pretty busy. But
I see.
again, I would not be able to do it if I had not taken that leap of faith
Yeah.
and jumped into this thing in 2009. I'd never be able to make all of it.
Yeah. And look at you now, sir. You've carved out a pretty good thing there for yourself.
You know, there's always room for more. There's always room for better.
Of
But
course.
I'm so excited, and again, just really, really thankful. And we didn't touch on this a lot, but just briefly, my daughter at 15 now, I transitioned into 2009. She was born in 2010, and she was 3 months premature.
Mm,
Had I not made that jump, who knows what would have happened? How would I have been able to care for her?
yeah,
Because she spent 3 months, 3 months premature, 2 months in the NICU, which is the neonatal
I see it. Yeah.
ICU. And when she came home, it was just her and me. And right outside of these walls was her bassinet in her room, in that room over there.
Hmm.
And so I often wonder what would have happened had I had a real job or a 9 to 5 job
Yeah.
and couldn't get time off. Or so I'm just super grateful, man. It's been a wonderful ride, and I'm excited to continue it.
Yeah. It's all in the divine blueprint. We don't see the blueprint, but we are afforded the opportunity to see what's being
Yeah.
built with the blueprint.
Yeah.
And you have a pretty good foundation. Not pretty good. You have a great foundation. So
Thank you, sir.
kudos to you and all of your success.
Kudos to you, man. And one day soon, I'll make it out there and we'll talk some more about people we've met.
Off camera, that'll
And
be fun.
yeah, yeah, we'll have some tea.
We will not have tea, sir. Um,
Absolutely, because I understand that we have a similar liking. But yeah,
absolutely.
we'll have that.
Um, I would enjoy that very much. The doors are open. Tell the fine folks how they can find you on your socials, and you want to give them a little work,
So
feel free.
socials, Mark Fisher VO on X, on Instagram, uh, Mark Fisher VO at Gmail. If you want to contact me, if you want to call me, no, I'm just joking. Um, but yeah,
The lines are
get,
open. Yeah.
yeah, no, well, hit me on socials, Mark Fisher VO, Gmail, X, Twitter, whatever you call it. And I'd love to get back with you, and I'd love to do some work. I'll treat your project like it's mine.
Oh yeah. He'll tell it to you, not sell it to
I'll tell it to you. Not, I have that. I actually have that on my wall. I do,
you.
along with a whole lot of other stuff. But feel it, say it, share it. Don't sell it.
There you go.
Thank you, Nancy.
See if I can get her on the show. The Nancy that we're referring to is Nancy Wolfson.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Good peoples. Well, sir, I release you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. You know, it's been a while since I've had another person in front of me in my fortress of solitude, and I couldn't think of a better way to start off season 3. Spending time with you, man. So I do appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, man. See you soon.
All right. Thank you all for watching and listening. Because you know we have the YouTube thing, and we actually have I think we're on Apple, Spotify, and some other places, or as they say, the jargon, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wow.
So wherever you get your podcast, we out here. All right, we out of here. And as always, take some time out for yourself. Thanks for listening to the Take Time Out with Tre Mosley podcast, part of TMX Creative. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube or the Take Time Out with Tre Mosley YouTube page. Thanks for listening, or thanks for watching. Either way, we'll see you soon.